Welcome everyone to an epic showdown between Undead as the Tomb Kings taking on Tamaskan as the Assaur. So for the High Elf front line here, we are going to be starting with 4 units of the anti-infantry rangers, backed up here in the back by 3 units of the anti-large spearmen. For the main pocket and the punch, we are going to start with the triple elite sisters of Avalon. The lovely ladies here in the middle are going to be having bucket loads of armor piercing, fire and magic damage, which can really help bring down all those Tomb Kings. In the middle for the magic, we are going to have the Mage of Light. Here on foot, she's going to be having the Net of Amatok, the Book of Hoeth, and the Starwood Staff for that extra mana. In the sky, we are going to have the Grim Warden, the legendary hero himself here, with, on top of Stormwing as well today, with the Fang Sword of Eltharion, Soul Quench, Apotheosis, and the Mistwalker's Barrage. On the flanks and in the rear, we are going to have 3 units of the Illyrian Reavers, 90 speed here to really whip around the battlefield and shut down all those Tomb King main forces. So for the Tomb Kings, 5 units of the cheap Skeleton Warriors here in the front line, backed up here by the triple Skeleton Spearmen in the back. For the main pocket, extremely expensive indeed, 3 units of the Ushoti Great Bows, including the Chosen of the Gods, coming with that extra spread shot that is so good there at deleting all infantry. In the middle, we are going to have the Casket of Souls actually using the Righteous Smithing, which is a really nice spell that buffs by 40% there on base missile damage and armor piercing, bringing it up to 1,184 missile strength. For the Lord Choice, on top of another artillery piece, we are going to have Grand Hippophank Katep, the DJ man himself, going to be busting the beats here on the floor with Sandstorm, as well as Arcane Conduit, the Incantation of Desiccation, the Incantation of the Righteous Smithing, Incantation of Protection, and the Incantation of the Cursed Blades. And that's all going to be buffed there with the Restless Dead. For every spell, you are going to get healing map wide, and also here with the Leechy Staff, giving plus 15 seconds to all spells and abilities. We're also going to have the Confidant of Power, which is actually going to increase power reserve, so you're actually going to be getting more mana here coming in for Grand Hippophant. In the back, we are going to have the Big Bone Daddy. He's going to be having 625 anti-large armor-piercing missile strength, and this boy brings a bonus of 200 large. And it's going to be so much there. It's 825 damage coming up to Eltharion and any other large units here coming in from the Assaur. The last unit is going to be a unit of the Skeleton Chariots, an absolute staple model here within the Tomb King roster. This thing is so strong up against almost any level of infantry in the game, and 3 or 4 of these can certainly do very well, but we are going to only have 1 today, as the majority of the force is going to be spent into range. So, artillery shooting out the front here. Looks like the main target here is going to be the sisters. Oh my god! Half of their health deleted in 1 volley! Fantastic work here in the middle. We're going to see the sisters down to 2.6k, losing 18 models from 1 shot of that artillery piece. Casket of Souls can be so disgusting sometimes here in the community, and they can just delete anything here in the front line. 32 models now left here at 1,700 health, 10 leadership. Also getting shot here by the Chosen of the Gods. You can see it there with their spread shot right to the end. You can see these missiles coming forward, and then they spread just as they hit up against all that infantry. It does make them a bit weaker there up against some of the large entities coming here with Eltharion and Cavalry, but can be very good there up against a bucketload of infantry. Soul Quench smashing into the flank here of the Skeleton Spearmen. 93 models left here out of 120. Nice work there from Eltharion. And looks like here in the front line, we are going to be engaging. Rangers are in here fighting up against these Skeleton Warriors. These ones rather damaged, but the rest here are going to be relatively healthy fighting in the middle. And you can see here that the Skeleton Warriors will be falling behind here up against these Rangers. On the flank, we're going to have a unit of the Rangers, and also here the Illyrian Reavers fighting alongside Eltharion the Grim, taking on 1 unit of the Skeleton Warriors. So we're now going to pop through that very cheap line and get on to the back here with the Ushoti Great Bows. Fang Sword of Eltharion giving magic damage, but also giving 40% physical resistance and increased AP is really going to help him rip apart up against all these very nice big constructs. So firing in the front here, looks like we do break there with the Sisters of Avalon. 9 models left there in the back, and now these sisters here are going to be getting ready here to get compromised by the chariots. They're going to be cycling through all against these lovely ladies, getting pushed everywhere all over the battlefield, and I think the Mage of Light is not really going to be able to help too much without that Net of Amatok. Looks like here we do hit tier 3, so we are going to be getting healing here with the Realm of the Souls, and also coming in with the Realm of the Ushoti. So this should be very good here for the summon in the middle, so we are going to get it here to maybe get some nice good damage on the Illyrian Reavers. The Incantation of Desiccation used for negative melee attack and melee defense, going to be a nice good push off there for Eltharion the Grim. Bone Daddy here is going to be shooting and missing up against Altharion, but he could do some lovely work there indeed. Altharion going to be down to half health. And looks like here in the middle, we are going to be getting a Sandstorm, ripping apart the front line here of the double Rangers. They should be able to rip and do some lovely work. Down to 57 models. Look at the damage there. So much nice work there from that spell. In the middle, you can see these auras coming in for the Covenant of Power, giving so much extra mana here to Grand Hippofan Ketep. And look at that. We can see the Bone Giant doing some lovely damage. Apotheosis has now been activated from Athalion the Grim. And the net is going to go down here for the Skeleton Chariots. That is going to allow the Sisters here to turn and maybe burn here up against these gorgeous models. So we are going to see some more shots coming in the front line here up against the Rangers. Coming here from the Casket of Souls. But in the front, we are going to have the Summon of the Ushopti fighting here up against Spearmen. We are actually going to get the front line of the Chosen of the Gods here fighting up against the double Spearmen. Rangers getting held back by Skeleton Spearmen as well. And it looks like here in the back, we are going to get some good push from the Illyrian Reavers. So we were compromising the Bone Giant, who was going to be using the Incantation of the Cursed Blades, as well as the Incantation of Protection. In the middle, Ushopti Great Bows are going to be getting shot down here by the Sisters of Avalon. 180 range is actually pretty impressive there from the Elves. But 255 can be used here to kind of snipe up against Altharion, or maybe shoot here up against some of the Sisters. I think deleting the Sisters here is certainly going to be needed. Shots coming in the front. It looks like the main target actually is still going to be the Rangers, deleting some of that anti-infantry front line here, but it looks like a lot of the Rangers are going to return. Illyrian Reavers breaking, Sisters of Avalon returning. This could be a little bit painful here, but it looks like the Tomb Kings are going to be in the lead. Balance of power is certainly in their favour. But you can see the Sisters are now really starting to donk on that front door and starting to take down some of these Ushopti Great Bows. Ushopti Great Bows are now having to be used as front line, so they can fight here up against the Spearmen and the incoming Rangers. In the back, though, it looks like we do have Illyrian Reavers. Nice work here from Tamaskan, shutting down both of the artillery pieces. Made that all three, actually, with the Bone Giant here. Lovely work indeed. We are going to get a Skull Storm here that's going to do no damage here against these single entities, but will rip apart some of the Illyrian Reavers. Unfortunately here, these Skeleton Spearmen are going to be walking through that Sandstorm, and look at the damage! The Sandstorm pretty much deletes half a unit of Skeleton Spearmen here. That is really unfortunate for Undead. But in the middle here, we'll get a nice little view. We are going to be shooting downtown. Oh my god, look at the damage on the Sisters. These things are going to be getting deleted in the backside. We saw 22 drop to 17, drop to 12, and they do break. The lovely ladies here have so much pressure coming in from this triple artillery pieces. So for the front line, pretty much nothing going to be left here from the Tomb Kings. 2 units here of the Skeletons. The rest here is just going to be Ushopti Great Bows. And now looks like here in the back, we are just going to be having the double or maybe even triple artillery pieces. Cavalry charging here up against the Chosen of the Gods. Spearmen are in as well. Pretty healthy. 80 models, 4,100 health. They should be able to help take down the Chosen of the Gods. AP missiles coming in from the Sisters of Avalon. But if they do fire here up against Grand Hippofan, actually, he's actually not going to have a fire weakness. I forgot. He's actually... there's some weird lore about Grand Hippofan. I think something maybe he's not actually dead, or there's some really weird stuff. But or maybe he just doesn't have any bandages. I'm not too sure. But he's the only one that doesn't actually have a fire weakness. But in the middle, the Bone Giant is going to be shooting up against the Mage of Light. Perhaps here shooting up against the Cavalry might be a little bit more efficient. I think here getting rid of that mobility is certainly going to be very key indeed. In the back, we do get some returning Rangers. Spearmen here moving in as well. And they can do some nice work here with the bonus versus large up against Grand Hippofan and the Casket of Souls. Both of these don't have brilliant melee defense, so the Spearmen certainly can get in here with that anti-large and do some really nice work indeed. Balance of power coming back to even here, really starting to pull it back with Tamaskan. We can see here some cavalry should be returning. A lot of it here has been broken, but will be coming back to the front line. We are going to see the third and I believe final Sandstorm here from Grand Hippofan. Incantation of Protection also activated. It does actually have some really nice attack animations where it just sort of does this side swirl as it just kind of hits a nice big splash damage here of lots of infantry. A lot of the front line here is going to break on the left-hand side. Rangers are going to be in the middle, taking down the remainder of the Skeleton Spearmen. There's going to be 1 unit left here, but in comes Altharion. And if anybody can butcher here, it is certainly going to be the man, the myth, the Grim Warden legend. Going to be using the Fang Sword with extra AP, physical resistance as well, to fight here up against Grand Hippofan Ketep. But a big bone shot here in the back from the Bone Giant is going to be smashing into the King. And he here is going to be trying his best to take down Grand Hippofan. And it looks like he's going to be doing a very good job indeed. Going down here to about a quarter HP. Grand Hippofan, 1,300. It is actually going to be 1,200 from Atharion as well. Apotheosis activated. Charging in here as well with the Illyrian Reavers. Down to 464. Down to 250. And it looks like we are going to be dropping here. DJ Kartep has fallen from the battlefield. And the rest here of the DJs are going to be falling, I'm sure, in his stead. The Bone Giant here, Bands of Power pulling into the High Elves for the first time in the battle. We are going to see the Mistwalker's Barrage here in the back, shutting down. Very big damage coming on the Casket of Souls, down to 650, 400, and a full. I believe this is going to be so close to army losses. It's just going to be the Bone Giant versus the world here. He still has ammo. We could certainly shoot Eltharion, but if he puts on the pressure, it could be very, very bad. Looks like Apotheosis could tip Balance of Power here. Big damage on the Bone Giant. That is going to be army losses. GG's, and well played here to both of these elite players. What a super fun game here coming in from both sides, and I really like this build from Undead. He went, I'm going to go all in on this range pressure. We're going to go 8 units of cheap front line with a unit of skeleton warriors, skeleton chariots, apologies, so we could really try and delete that front line. And then we're going to try and destroy everything else here with triple Ushupti, a Bone Giant, and the double Casket of Souls. So let's have a little look here. So DJ Cartet, really well played Undead. This was a phenomenal game here to cast on live stream and to cast here as well afterwards. It was so good I couldn't say no. 2,100 here for DJ Cartet, with also 233, 130, 190, as well as 120 and 104 there for the Skeleton Warriors. Spearmen at 202, 244 and 286. 1,500 for the Skeleton Chariots, just showing how strong these bad boys really can be when they can just whip through especially expensive front lines as the High Elves. These coming at 600 apiece for the Rangers, 500 apiece for the Spearmen, and also getting in the back there up against the Sisters of Avalon. These things can really wrap up some juicy damage value. 1,200, 400 here from the Ushupti Great Bow with 588. Sadly, the shows of the gods were kind of had to fight in the front line because the certainly the Skeleton Warriors weren't able to do all the big boy work that they normally do. But you can see they did some okay stuff, like 1,200 certainly where they can reach. These are exceptionally good bundles for the Tomb Kings, but sadly they very, very easily got shut down here by Tamaskan. 2,400 for the Bone Giant, though, some big shots on Eltharion, with also 1,500 for 136 kills there for the Casket of Souls. So 3,300 from Eltharion, and we rarely ever see him here in the multiplayer scene in the true competitive sense, but it was really nice to see him here today. Apotheosis, Soul Quench was used so nicely, 72 kills overall. 250 from the Mage of Light, Net of Avatar was used there to some great effect here on the Skeleton Chariots. Looks like here the Spearmen 240, 250, and 944, just showing when they did get into fighting up against the Ushupti Great Bows, also geared up against the Casket of Souls. You can certainly see some big value here for the Spearmen. 390, 460, 307, and 430 there for the Rangers, with 1,260 for the Sisters, 660, and also 0, so nice shutdown for that unit. We only see 206, 904, and 617 for the Illyrian Reavers. So what an excellent game here coming from both of these legends. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please smash that like button. It really does help here on the channel. And do feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to know all your thoughts and opinions. Most importantly, if you haven't already, do feel free to subscribe. It really does help grow the channel. And also do check out that description. You can find all my other social media platforms, including Discord and Twitter. But also you can find out that Twitch, where I do a bunch of other live streams here throughout the week, where you can see me play maybe a bit of multiplayer myself, or maybe I just do some replays, some King of the Kills. But you can check all that good juicy stuff out. So other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourself during these times, and I'll see you all very, very soon.